this is Robin. Welcome back to Real Kosher Family Living, and this is a view of some spelt, wheat, and barley that I am sprouting so that I can make some Ezekiel bread. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about nourishing traditions. I'm not the first person on YouTube to talk about this cookbook, or the 10th person, or probably even the 100th person. There's a million people talking about this book because I would say it's a pretty groundbreaking work in nutrition. Big deal. If you haven't read this book, I might not take this book as the introduction to these kind of ideas. If you're new to what I would call alternative nutrition ideas, I would read Real Food, What to Eat and Why by Nina Planck, which is a very accessible kind of tour through through alternative nutrition ideas, but which is very heavily based on this book. This is a cookbook, I guess. It's a treatise. It's it's a way of life. It's very dense. There's recipes like you would find on a normal cookbook after a really informative introduction, kind of like a philosophical jumping off point for the book. So there's recipes here for soaking, for instance, on this page. But on all of the pages, on the sidebars, are all filled with additional information, additional resources, or just notes by the author. So this is not just a cookbook. This is like I said, a way of life. This book resonates with me really well. I talked in my last video about how my last nutrition video, about how I had decided that the way I'm going to decide what my family eats is based on how I feel about it. So I feel really good about this book. I feel a little overwhelmed. So this book contains so many new ideas, so many ideas outside of the mainstream standard American diet, as they say. So far, so many ideas that I've never heard about, because so much of what's available in alternative nutrition is raw foodists and vegans and vegetarians, and this is a meat-heavy book. This is very, very meat-heavy, and so many new ideas, and lots of fermentation. Which is, a trend, I would say, a thing that people are doing, which is really time intensive. Sprouting, which is really time intensive. Soaking all grains, which is really time intensive. All kinds of really time intensive ideas. So my advice for you is that if you are interested in finding out about traditional foodways, if you are interested in finding out about how things were done and you want to eat like our great-grandparents did, our great-great-grandparents did, definitely pick this book up. And then don't get overwhelmed. This is not something you have to do overnight. If you've been eating poorly, if you're like me, and we're eating poorly for your entire life, you don't have to change overnight. I have been on this journey of changing my food in this direction, the lots of animal products, lots of fat direction, for 2 years. And I did it, first of all, just by supplementing those things into what we were already eating and changing my cooking oils. And only recently have I kind of made this shift toward really trying to get rid of the white stuff out of the cupboard and out of our lives, for the most part. And And I'm not there. I'm not convinced 100% by some of the evidence. The book that Sally Fallon references, this is by Sally Fallon, in case you didn't know. The most about the evils of sugar is called The Sugar Blues, and it's quoted extensively in here. And I think that the selections that are quoted here were quoted for their pithiness and their emotional impact, and I don't like that. I'm not a person to be appealed to through the emotions. I like to be appealed to through the intellect. So I really didn't resonate with that part of this at all. And so I'm gonna go do more research on the sugar thing. Now that we're eating a lot of sugar, we're not eating a lot of sugar. I just don't know that it is the root of all evil yet, exactly. So, but other than that, I have started soaking grains. I have started sprouting grains. I have, like I said, I switched my cooking oils about 2 years ago to this kind of method. I am phasing out pasta, whole grain pasta as well. I am, of course, the easiest way to make changes in your diet, I think, is to add things to your diet and not subtract. So rather than subtracting anything from my diet, I am focused on adding things. And I know that this is counter to people who say, it's not what you eat, it's what you don't eat. That's fine. But for changing your habits, I think it's 100% about what you eat and not very little about what you don't eat. Because you can't subtract things without adding things back in. And if you focus on the adding of things back in, you are just going to find that you don't have room for those things that you had in your life before. I still have all those things in my cupboard. I didn't go through my cupboards and throw them out. I just don't have room for them right now because we're eating, a ton of vegetables and a ton of healthy fats and a ton of eggs. And I did stop buying tortillas in order to make tortillas, and and that was a subtraction, and that's been a big issue for me because for lunches now, I'm not well prepared. I need to find a routine. I need to find stuff that is lunch-like, that fits in well, and I think it's going to end up being tortillas again. I think it's just going to end up being homemade corn tortillas instead of the white flour. Ew, I can't. Ones that we were buying from the store. So, if you're going to read this book, and I think you should, because it's an eye-opening piece, and there's just so much information. So much information in here. And like I said, there are things that I don't necessarily agree with, and things that contradict things other people say, but it's just packed with data. It's so useful. And then if you're converted, so to speak, if this is where you think it's at, then don't feel like you have to do everything overnight. This is really a journey, and it's going to be much easier for you to do things, for me too, for us, to do things slowly, to add rather than subtract. So, grow a garden, add a whole bunch of wonderful vegetables in your life, go to the farmer's market, add omega-3 rich eggs instead of the battery eggs that you're currently eating. And they taste so good. And try duck eggs. They have twice the cholesterol of regular eggs. Seriously. So all of these things, this is my advice. This is what I'm doing. I'm seeing. I'm really happy with where we are right now. So my husband also said very kind things. He said, we've been trying all of this new stuff lately, and it's all been delicious, really amazingly good. So it's all an improvement, an escalation to the next level. Talk to you later. Bye.